technical names for scale degrees. Now, if you've had already a look at that first gray box and you're seeing some pretty freaky deaky looking words and terms, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. We're only going to really focus on a couple of them. But in any case, these are words that allow musicians to talk about a certain note within a scale. Not a specific key signature, like not in D major or A flat major, or, we're not talking a specific pitch. We're talking about a note within its key signature or within its scale. All right? So, it says musicians have a system of referring to degrees of a diatonic scale with names as follows. And this goes for a lot of different, there are many different kinds of scales, and there are different names depending on the kinds of scale that you're using. But every scale has a tonic. Every scale has a tonic. This is the first note, the first kind of note we're going to look at and focus on. The tonic is the first note and the last note of a scale. When you play a major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, do, do. Okay, the bottom note and top note are the tonic. It's called the tonic because it is the tonal center. When you arrive at that note from above, like from above and you descend to it, or from below and you get to it, or below it you get to the top one, either way. When you arrive at that tonic note, it sounds, for even non-musicians' ears, it sounds stable, it sounds like it's the home base, like you're home free. A lot of music begins, and even more music ends its melodies on the tonic note, whether it's an upper tonic or the lower tonic, right? A perfect example is O Canada. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. We end on that upper tonic and it sounds very final. Some people like to end it by going down. They like to go, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Essentially what they're doing here is, and I'll sort of let you follow through on the scale, they're doing this. They're starting here in this middle note. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. They're approaching that upper tonic from below. All right? The other way, Canada, we stand on guard for. They're going to the leading tone below the tonic, and for thee, and they're coming into that low tonic from below as well. The tonic is a very stable note. We'll do a few listening exercises and a few experiments with the piano in class, and you'll really be able to see what I mean when you hear them. So, the little assignment, write out the scale of F major and name the scale degrees as they are above. Essentially, you're just going to write an F major scale and copy these words. The first note is the tonic, second note is the supertonic, the third note is the mediant. We'll talk another day about why they are called these things, but for now, you're just getting exposed to them. You're just having a look at them, seeing what they mean, seeing what they're called, and maybe we'll hazard a few guesses in class as to why you think these names are the way they are. All right, so let's carry on to the bottom section of this page. The tonic, or the root note, is the note that the scale starts and ends on, as we already talked about, and the higher one is usually referred to as the upper tonic, So the bottom one is the tonic, top one is the upper tonic for obvious reasons. Right? Circle the tonic every time it occurs in this melody in G major. Not only do you see the key signature, which tells you it's G major, 1 sharp is G major, but they're telling you G major. So in other words, quickly ask yourself, if I'm in the key of G major, what note is my tonic? Well, tonic is the note the scale starts on. So if G major is my key, my scale starts on the note G. So in other words, circle any G's in this music. That's all they're asking you to do. The tonic note, the bottom note or top note of the scale. And then trying it in a few other key signatures, write the key signature and tonic note of the following keys. So here you're going to write the proper key signature of A major and the note A. Write the proper key signature for D major and the note D. Write the key signature of F major and put an F on the staff, etc. all the way through. All right? You should have the skills to do that. Finish that up. I'd like you to pause the video right now, finish that up, and we'll carry on to the next page. Go. All right, so you should have a good handle on what the tonic is and its purpose within a scale. The next most important name to know is the dominant. All right, this is a perfect fifth above the tonic, or another, if you want to think about it another way, it is the fifth note. It is scale degree 5. It's the fifth note of the scale. All right, it's called the dominant because it can dominate the ear, and it might sound weird or look weird to read that kind of sentence. It can dominate the ear. This really is a kind of a tricky concept to understand by just explaining it. You really do have to hear it, and you have to hear the chords that are built on these notes. We'll take a little bit of time in class one day, and I'll really show you what it means to have that dominant note and that dominant chord fall and bring your ears back to the tonic. All right, it can dominate the ear. When you hear that fifth note of the scale, it sends your ear wanting to go back up to the top tonic or the lower tonic. Anyway, in any case, just remember that the dominant is the fifth note of the scale, and it's the second most important note. So, again, write just the same kind of exercise. Write the dominant note of each of the following keys. So write the key signature and dominant note of these keys. So give me the key signature of D major and write down the dominant note, or the fifth note of a D major scale. Write the key signature for E major and the fifth note of an E major scale, the dominant note. It says next, circle the dominant every time it occurs in this melody, and they're telling you this melody is in F major. So your tonic is F major. Your tonic is the note F, or this guy here, which means your dominant would be the fifth note of an F major scale, all right, or the note C. So in other words, find all the C's, circle them, because those are the dominant notes in that particular piece of music. The seventh note of the scale is and this is the third really important note, is called the leading note. You saw it on the previous page. It's called this because it leads the ear to the tonic. In minor scales, the leading note is often raised, as in the harmonic minor scale, and we'll get to that. We've done it before, but that's why a harmonic minor scale has that raised seventh note, because it allows your ear to want to go back to that tonic. All right. Again, I'll give you some listening examples. I'll even just improvise a melody in a major scale, any major scale. I'll just make up something, and as I arrive to that leading note, it's not going to sound complete. It's not going to sound done. Your ears are going to want to go up a half step to get to that tonic again. All right. The next little section says, write the leading note and upper tonic of the following keys. So in the key of C major has an empty key signature, of course. Here's the leading note. It's the seventh note of a C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And hopefully you can hear it already. B, C. When you play that major scale, if you end on the seventh note, your ears are going to want to go one more, right? If you play the first seven notes of a major scale for somebody and then walk away and see what they say. Even people who don't know music will ask you to finish what you're playing. They won't understand why. They'll just know that you're not done. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. There's your leading note. And you want to go one more to do. Leading note, tonic. All right, that's what the leading note does. It draws your ear up to the tonic. So, seventh note, leading tone, tonic. In A minor, you know about A minor, you know about the harmonic form, so show me the leading note and the tonic in A minor. Same in A major, G minor, E major. Carry on with this worksheet. All right, we'll take it up in class. Enjoy. Take care.